Ministers received today His Excellency Dr. Ali Mahdi Jawad al-Dabbagh, Ambassador of the Republic of Iraq to the Sultanate, to bid him farewell at the end of his tour of duty in the country, where he informed him of conveying the greetings of His Majesty the Sultan to the Iraqi leadership and his good wishes to the brotherly Iraqi people. His Highness praised the growing relations between the two countries and the fruitful efforts made by His Excellency the Ambassador during his work period, wishing him success in his upcoming tasks. From his side, the ambassador expressed his country's satisfaction with the concrete development witnessed by the bilateral cooperation, stressing that the Iraqi leadership holds all appreciation for the Sultanate and its wise, balanced policies at the regional and international levels, and his country hopes to strengthen its relations with the Sultanate in various fields, as he expressed his deep gratitude for the care he received from all the officials in the Sultanate, which had the greatest impact in facilitating his mission. The meeting discussed the fraternal relations between the two countries and means of enhancing cooperation between the two sides, as well as to review of the overall current situation on the regional and international arenas. The meeting was attended by His Excellency Sayyid Badr bin Hamad bin Hamoud Al Busaidi, Secretary General of the Foreign Ministry. The Ministry of Health announced 2,164 new confirmed cases of COVID-19, which brings the total number registered in the Sultanate to 58,179, including 259 deaths. The Ministry of Health stressed that 37,257 cases have been recovered. It is worth mentioning that the Ministry of Health conducted around 6,173 tests recently.
Back to work is a step of hope for the best to come. Here are the instructions that will protect you from coronavirus. Wear masks while leaving your house by following proper procedures. Keep a physical distance of at least 2 meters away from others. Follow the main hygienic procedures of washing or sanitizing hands from time to time. Avoid using elevators as much as possible, and if you have to use it, ensure less number of people to guarantee physical distance from one another. Gatherings at entrances, waiting rooms, offices, meeting halls and prayer places are forbidden. If you have any symptoms of the disease, immediately contact the bodies concerned specified by the Minister of Health. By adhering to these instructions, it will assist you in preventing from contracting the COVID-19. Stay safe.
The revenues of Oman Liquefied Natural Gas Company, OLNG, reached over $3.4 billion last year. The net income of OLNG reached over $1.1 billion due to the increase in the production and recovery in oil prices. More details in the following report.
Natural gas is of great importance in the structure of the Omani economy. It is one of the basic sources of the national income, despite the decline in its added value in the first quarter of this year by more than 9% compared to the same period last year, to reach 356,700,000 Omani riyals. Oman LNG Company, one of the pillars of the gas sector in the Sultanate, continues to achieve remarkable success despite the challenges facing the global energy sector. The company's revenues reached $3.485 billion last year, while its net income reached more than $1.1 billion, driven by the high production and improved global oil prices. Another key highlight for Oman LNG in 2019 was the successful repayment of all its debt obligations ahead of schedule, within the company's endeavors to reduce financial costs and contribute to enhancing the credit rating of the Sultanate. Last year, the company implemented several strategic projects, such as the Plant Rejuvenation Program and the new power plant, which contributed to achieving record rates of producing 10.7 million metric tons and delivering 209 cargoes of gas and its derivatives. Among the other key achievements of the company, it was able to Omanize 100% of the executive management and achieve 85% overall Omanization. These record highlights of Oman LNG are in line with the Sultanate's plans to raise its gas production through a number of projects, most notably Khazan and Ghazir projects, to keep pace with the development requirements, the economic diversification plans, and the national manpower employment programs, coinciding with the implementation of Oman Vision 2040. For the Sultanate of Oman Television, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
Still to come in our news bulletin. A Netherlands company created a new type of plastic that could compose or decompose in years, not centuries. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. With the aim to embody the community partnership, Oman Chamber of Commerce and Industry at the Governorate of Boraimi, in cooperation with Boraimi Educational Department, launched an initiative to manufacture a plastic face shield. Based on the initiative, the Scientific Innovation Center, affiliated to Educational Department in the Governorate, will manufacture the shields through the support provided by the Chamber, represented in equipment and the necessary supplies. The initiative also came within the aim to support the private sector, small, medium-sized enterprises and the medical cadres. The value of real estate's tracking or trading contracts in the Sultanate reached more than 172,000.81 million Omani riyals during the month of June, and the collective fees reached more than 6.8 million Omani riyals, and the work of real estate activity reached to around 430,000 and 36 legal actions in the same period. An Amsterdam biochemical company created a plant-based plastic that can be used in items like bottles for fizzy drinks. The plant-based plastic decomposes in years, not centuries. More details in the following report.
Plant-based plastic decomposes in years, not centuries. Could this be the eco-friendly future of plastics? Amsterdam biochemical company Avantium has created a plant-based plastic that can be used in items like bottles for fizzy drinks. The company uses a chemical bio-based polymer called polyethylene furanoid, PEF, also called the polyester of the future. The compound is a 100% bio-based alternative to petroleum-based PET, commonly used in many consumer products and packaging. Last autumn, Avantium joined a project to create a plant-based and recyclable paper bottle. A thin layer of the PEF is enough to stop gas from permeating the bottle, essential for holding beverages like carbonated drinks.
And because the properties of PEF are really good from a barrier point of view, in principle you don't need this thickness for many applications. You could work with a much thinner bottle, but then of course you lack the mechanical properties. You don't have let's say a good bottle in your hands. So that's why PEF and in this case this paper bottle are such a good match, because the strength for the paper bottle will come from the paper, and you only need a thin layer of PEF for the barrier properties to have to keep the content well for a desired period of time.
The company claims that once it is thrown away, the plant-based plastic will degrade naturally in just a few years rather than over several centuries. It thinks its product could compete in many areas where plastic is used.
So I think this material has the potential to compete in many more areas than just, like for example, the PET in bottles. It's also an interesting material to consider and evaluate for fiber applications, to go to textiles, apparel. We're looking at film applications because of the barrier material, so you can make stretch film for food packaging or for non-food packaging. So there are really many options.
There is still research to be done. Avantium is conducting experiments to see how its plant-based material degrades in different environments. Samples are placed in containers filled with fresh and salt water, earth and sediment. The company wants its products to be recycled but needs to know what will happen if it is thrown away instead. How to deal with discarded plastic is an area many scientists are grappling with. All too often, bottles, bags and other packaging end up in nature where they pollute the environment for centuries.
Bio-based plastics with a good or superior performance that can be recycled, that are saving CO2, but that nonetheless rapidly biodegrade once they get into the ocean or in the environment. And that last part, that's something we still need to further develop and optimize.
Dr. Jaco van Haveren, a researcher at the Bio-Based Chemicals and Fuels Institute of the Wageningen University, who has no connection to Avantium. Van Haveren's team of researchers is about to start research into ways plastic can be broken down more quickly. The European Union-funded project will investigate how an enzyme incorporated into packaging could help. Avantium has announced it will open a production factory in 2023, hoping to win support from environmentally conscious soft drink producers. Its production volume will be modest and therefore expensive. If this technology proves popular, the costs will come down, and more importantly, so will plastic pollution.
This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq greets the President of France on his country's National Day. The Ministry of Health reports new 2,164 COVID-19 cases after examining 6,173 samples. And the revenues of Oman LNG exceed $3.4 billion during last year. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.